respects, it's preferable to use insertions where possible to allow for deferred download and background downloading of data. And of course, there's some metadata in the file as well that's not downloaded. So one big piece to be concerned with is those package sizes.
Oh, can I just interrupt and ask a quick question there?
Now, just to give you a sense of where the data in a typical level mostly lives, I just took a bunch of levels out of our load build. Most of these are.
For you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Warren.
Yeah. Sorry, when you was talking about the insertions that have been downloaded, etc. Well, it's a question that's actually live on a forum, as I'm hoping Chris would answer. But if I've created a document surface and it's already created the images, are those transferred across with the WAV file and the initial load to the server? Because something I noticed the other day while testing it is that although the images were already created, the document itself wouldn't next page, previous page, etc.
Okay. So the question was about when are documents uploaded to the server, and how does that all work, and why is it that sometimes you encounter this problem where a document won't next page or whatever in the default set.
Yeah.
So okay, two parts of the question. Question one is, are default documents uploaded to the server? Yes, they are. So they're part of the WAE file. They're uploaded to the server. So if you had a PDF document, the editor will convert that into the PDF document plus a series of JPEG images. Now, for various reasons, and I'm not sure whether we've totally fixed this, the actor that manages the document isn't always able to tell how long the document is, and so you may need to actually set a property to tell it that the document's more than just one page. The default document is more than one page. Whenever you drag and drop a document, it's automatically computed at upload time, and that's not a problem. It's just a problem with the default documents. So probably what you encountered was the needing to set that property to set the length of the default document, and that would have made it advance fine.
Excellent. And is that in the document actor properties?
Yeah, that's right. It's a document actor property.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up to see exactly what the precise property is.
Cheers, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No worries. That's perfect.
So, sorry, can you be able to see the slides at the back? I was just thinking maybe you don't have to get off to see the slides. There are another...
Yeah, I do, because it's an activation volume problem, right? The slides are only active when I'm off the stage. It's
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's a content bug.
Yeah, it's a bug, unfortunately, in this particular content. Anyway, so what I wanted to, let me get back up on the stage. Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about here is show an example of a bunch of levels and the compressed size of each of the Unreal packages that get downloaded on startup. So you can look through a list. These are a bunch of ones. Some of them are our template environments. Some are some other ones by other people, and so forth. Anyway, you can see there's a range of sizes from Canvas at the very low of being less than a megabyte to some levels that are over 50 megabytes on initial connection. And that obviously dramatically affects how long it takes a first-time user to get into that particular environment. It seems to take about, on average, on the order of a minute or two for every 10 megabytes. Ideally, we would try to keep our, levels that you expect people to just come by casually fairly small, so they can get in quickly. Levels, of course, that people come back to again and again, it's not as important because the download sizes, the downloads are cached. Anyway, when it comes to thinking about optimizing these things, it makes sense to target our optimization efforts in the areas where the majority of the file size is consumed. And if you look at these examples, you'll see that on average, roughly 75% of the initial download is consumed by textures on all the, across all of these levels, and that holds true across all of the WAE files I've looked at. So texture optimization is what it's all about for improving download times, initial download times. Oh yeah, before I go too far on texture optimization, let's talk a little bit about caching and reuse. So all of those Unreal packages are cached, least recently used cache by web.live. And the packages themselves have a unique identifier in them. And that means that we actually cache based on the unique identifier. So if two servers use the exact same package that have the same unique identifier, they're only cached once. And that means if you go from server to server to server and you keep encountering that same package, you don't have to download it again and again. So for example, if you use some common furniture between your levels, you can save quite a bit of download as people move from level to level. Or if you, for example, reuse some content that we use, you'll find the same thing is true. So that's an important thing to be aware of, that those Unreal packages can be cached across servers. All right, let's talk about texture optimization. There's a lot of different techniques. So let's start with some of the obvious ones, right? First of all, try to select the smallest possible texture you can for your task at hand. Each time you go up a size, you dramatically increase memory usage. 1K by 1K texture is like 4 megs uncompressed, whereas one that's 256 by 256 is only a quarter of a megabyte, which is dramatically smaller. And sometimes, so you might say, well, it's a lot of detail we might lose by doing that. But in cases where you're using a tile texture, like in the illustration here, if you use texture A as your tile, that would work fine, but it's unnecessarily big because each of the sub-pieces of that A texture are actually all the same, and there's no reason why you couldn't replace it with B, which is a much smaller texture, and when tiled would look exactly the same. So when you're trying to build your textures, keep that in mind, that there's places where you can get significant improvements in size by just creating an efficient texture.